We welcome you to another live edition of the Sports Box, brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And by our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and check them out at www.crowdplayapp.com for details. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cage My IQ. I'm your host D-Bake. Tonight we will be previewing PFL Week 5, 2021, which is headlined by Rory Macdonald versus Gleison Tibau. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of PFL. We have 2 more weeks left before we get ready for the playoffs in August. They announced that the playoffs will be held in Hollywood, Florida, which they're looking to have crowd there. So thankfully crowds are coming back so we can get ready to cheer on these fighters in the playoffs. But once again, this is Cage My IQ, the best place for MMA content. You can follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch. Don't forget to follow the YouTube channel with the handle to the left and subscribe to it. We're over 110 subscribers right now, looking to get over 200. We do everything from preview and recap videos as well as interview fighters. So if MMA is your thing, come on over to Cage My IQ and subscribe to the page so you don't miss a thing. And we got our sponsors here to get by before we get to the preview. 99 Jersey. Use promo code SportsBoxShow20 at checkout to receive 20% off your next purchase. They got any jersey that you can think of, whether you like basketball, baseball, football. 99 Jersey has you covered. Just put in promo code SportsBoxShow20 at checkout so you can get 20% off your next purchase. Then we got Oddsjam. Go to the link in the bio so you never miss a bet again. When you go to the link, click it, sign up. They have the Oddsjam has the Arbitrator Calculator that helps you make smart bets so you don't lose them. You go there. They have 5 to 6 different sites to choose from to get the best bet possible to help you out win. Because once you sign up, you'll never lose a bet again. So you go to the link in the bio to sign up to Oddsjam and thank us later because you're going to make some money off of it. And then lastly, we got High Tide Herbal. They're health enthusiasts, athletes, and coaches who believe in creating a world with sustainable, all-natural health and wellness. They are fully dedicated to creating environmentally conscious products that generate results. They use CBD in their products to help with the recovery. Use promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your next purchase. And let them know that we sent you. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the preview with Cage My IQ. The first matchup we have on PFL 5 is a matchup between Cezar Ferreira going up against Chris Kamazi. Ferreira, in his first time out, got a first-round win in which he got 6 points, whereas Chris Kamazi lost a really close decision victory to Emiliano Sordi, and so he still has 0 points. But anything can happen in this. With the one matchup left, everybody's fighting for a position in the playoffs. But we'll start with Cezar Ferreira. He is fighting out of Boca Raton, Florida. He's from Brazil. He's 36 years old, 205 pounds, 6'1", 78-inch reach, and he fights out MMA Masters Gym. Whereas Kamazi is from Lakewood, Colorado. He's 34 years old. He's 204 pounds, 6'3", and he has a 78-inch reach, and he fights out Genesis Training Academy. Cezar Ferreira is a guy that he's come down nowhere now after seeing him in the UFC. He was in the middleweight division, small division. He decided to bulk up, got bigger, and then with that, it seems like he's found his niche in the right division for himself, because he moved up the light heavyweight, and now he just looks like a beast. He's really good with his hands, has nice power. He is good in the clinch, and he's really good on the ground and with submissions and locking you in submissions, getting you in uncomfortable positions. Whereas Chris Kamazi is a southpaw who comes in with the dirty boxing background. He's pretty good with his wrestling, and he's pretty good on his ground. But I feel like in this matchup, he's going to be a fish out of water, because he hasn't fought a guy like Cezar Ferreira, and I feel like this is a good position for Cezar Ferreira to get a second round knockout on Chris Kamazi, because Chris Kamazi struggled against Sordi in that matchup when Sordi was struggling as well, in which they fought to a close decision in their matchup. And I feel like this is going to be a guy that he's not going to be able to contend with, because he has so many good things going with him, with the power, the clinch, and then the submissions. And I feel like he's just going to wear him out in the first round. And then in the second round, he's just going to knock him out and get that second round victory and clinch his spot in the playoffs. So for this one, I got Cezar Ferreira with the second round knockout to advance to the playoffs of the PFL. And the next matchup we have on here is another lightweight matchup. We have Emiliano Sordi, who is going up against Dan Spahn, in which Emiliano Sordi has 3 points in the tournament right now, whereas Dan Spahn has 0 points. Emiliano Sordi looked out of sorts in the first matchup that he had with Chris Kamazi. His conditioning didn't look as well. He looked a little bit tired. It must be a thing with the southpaws, because he tends to struggle against them in all the matchups that he's had against them. Because against orthodox fighters, he looks a lot better. He looks less confused and more ready to go. But I was able to ask him in the media, like if he's improved on anything in between bubbles. And he said that he worked on his conditioning, he worked on his mindset, and he just worked on getting himself ready to go for this one. And he feels 100%, and he feels like he's gonna dominate in this matchup. He's very good with this striking and then the clinch, and then I just feel like he's looking good. Whereas Dan Spahn, he's a guy who knows kung fu and jiu-jitsu and has been training for a long time. He's on a 3-fight losing streak, and he matches up really well with Sordi with everything going on. He likes to use kicks, he likes to clinch, and he wants to catch a Sordi surprise. But first, we're going to go Sordi. He fights out of Rio Cordoba, Argentina. He's 30 years old. He's 205 pounds, 6'2", 77-inch reach, and he fights out of United MMA Fight Center and Alliance MMA, whereas Dan Spahn fights out of Columbus, Ohio. He's 36 years old, 205 pounds. He's 6'4", 77-inch reach, and he fights out of Ronin Training Center in Cambridge Martial Arts. My prediction for this fight is Dan Spahn's going to give him a hell of a fight. He's going to contend with him. He's going to keep him pushed. He's going to confuse him, and he's going to clinch with him. I think Spahn's going to take the first round, but then I think Emiliano Sordi is going to take the second two. Something's going to click after that first round, and he's just going to come out with aggression. He's going to come out looking fresh, and he's going to pull out a decision victory over Dan Spahn to get another 3 points and have a total of 6 points to hopefully get himself in another playoffs. But for this one, before, I got Emiliano Sordi winning by unanimous decision, then move to 6 points. In the third matchup on the card, it's a welterweight matchup between Ray Cooper and Nikolay Aleksakhin. This is probably the most intriguing matchup of the whole night, or even the whole 2 weeks worth of matchups for the welterweights and light heavyweights. You got Ray Cooper III, who is fighting out of Wanane, Hawaii. He's 28 years old, 170 pounds. He's 5'7", 70-inch reach, and he fights out of 808 Fight Factory, whereas Nikolay Aleksakhin is fighting out of Brzezinsk, Russia. He's 30 years old, 170 pounds, 5'9", 74-inch reach, and he fights out of Alexander Nevsky Stary Oshkosh Gym, which is most famous for being the gym where Fedor Emelianenko trains out of as well. But I feel like in this matchup, you got Ray Cooper, who has a big wrestling background and is pretty good with his boxing, and then pushing his opponents against the cage and getting in the clinch and just wreaking havoc. He's really quick, good on his feet, and he's a pro at the PFL. He's won it, and he doesn't talk too much. He lets his hands and his record do all the talking. But this is going to be a tough matchup for him against Nikolay, who has that Sambo background. He's really good in the clinch with the jiu-jitsu and getting guys down, using the momentum against them to win. And then he has pretty good striking as well. But in this matchup, I feel like it's going to go to a decision. I don't think Ray Cooper is going to be able to finish Nikolay, and I don't think Nikolay is going to have as easy of a way with him as he would with any other opponent, because Ray Cooper just keeps on moving. He just keeps on moving. And I feel like this is going to come down to the last round, where one of them is going to get the first round and one of them is going to get the second round. And I think with the format, Ray Cooper is going to come in the third, and he's going to start trading shots with them, get ahead on the card for the third round, and he's going to sneak out the victory of a tough opponent in Nikolay Aleksakhin. So for this one, I got Ray Cooper moving the 9 points with the unanimous decision victory over Nikolay Aleksakhin. So I have Ray Cooper ticketing himself into the playoffs, and then moving on forward with the 2 rounds to 1 unanimous decision victory over his opponent. That leaves us with the main event of the evening right here, which is a welterweight matchup between Rory Macdonald, who has 6 points, going up against Gleison Tibau, who has 0 points. In the main event, we got Rory Macdonald, who is Canadian. He's fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. He's 31 years old, 170 pounds, 6 foot, 79-inch reach, and he fights out of TriStar Gym and Sanford MMA, whereas Gleison Tibau is from Brazil, and he fights out of Coconut Creek, Florida. He's 37 years old, 170 pounds. He is 5'8" with a 69-inch reach, and he fights out of American Top Team. So that's a big height and reach advantage for Rory Macdonald in this matchup, in a position where he's a big striker, and then he doesn't mind clinching. But Rory Macdonald has a black belt in jiu-jitsu, whereas Tibau has a black belt in jiu-jitsu and has a really big wrestling background. But I feel like in this matchup, it's going to be imperative that Rory Macdonald use his height and range to get him with kicks, to hit him with his striking. He has both of the advantages, so he's going to try to avoid the clinch as much as possible, whereas Gleison Tibau is going to look to get in the clinch and try and get Macdonald down to close the gap with the advantages that Macdonald has. And I just feel like in this matchup, Rory Macdonald's going to piece him up, hit him with some strikes, hit him with some kicks, and then I feel like this is going to be a first-round knockout from Rory Macdonald. He's on a tear. He laid waste to Curtis Millender, who's more of his size and then more of a challenge to me than Gleison Tibau is, because Gleison Tibau is up there in age, and he's shown signs of being on the downward trend. And I feel like Gleison Tibau is just not going to be able to contend with the height and reach advantage. And Macdonald's going to just piece him up early. And then right before the first round horn hits, I think he's going to drop him. and beat him with the first round knockout. So in this one, I got Rory Macdonald moving to 12 points with the first round knockout over Gleison Tibau with the first round knockout. And then if that doesn't happen, look for a second round submission by Macdonald, because he's going to just wear him out. And so if you're the betting type, first round knockout. If you're not comfortable with that, then second round submission by him. But I got Rory Macdonald moving on in the tournament and continuing the trend of a possible Rory Macdonald versus Ray Cooper III matchup in the future, because that's the matchup I want to see in this tournament. That would do it for the PFL 5 2021 Rory Macdonald versus Gleison Tibau preview by yours truly, D-Bake of Cage My IQ. You can follow us, as always, on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch with the handles to the left. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And then, as always, Cage My IQ. It's the best place for MMA content. And I'm your host, D-Bake. Check us out for the recap show this Friday or Saturday morning. Let us know what you think. Give us all your comments. Hit us on the like button on YouTube, and then just hit us up. Let us know what you think. Let us know who you think is going to win and who you think is going to move on. But as always, I'm your host, D-Bake, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Thank you for watching this episode of Cage My IQ on the Sports Box. Please remember to follow us on all of our social media outlets. On Facebook at Sportsbox Show, Twitter at Sportsbox Show, Instagram at The Sportsbox Show. Find us on YouTube and join Outside the Box, our Facebook sports discussion group. The Sports Box is brought to you by our sponsor, Showcase Sports in Hamilton. Showcase Sports for the elite athlete. And also our friends over at CrowdPlay. Download the free CrowdPlay app today and use promo code THEBOX at sign up for 10 free points. Thank you for joining us.